Hello again. This is Dexter Wallace from Valma International, a consultancy based in Mumbai. Across this lockdown, between the months of May and July 2020, I fulfilled a 17-year-old promise which I made to my late mother when she wrote her first book and I published it. And I told her that, you've got to use the money you get from this book to write your second book. And she said, no, son, the next book, which should have been the first book in the family, has got to be yours. And I said, yes, I will do it. 6 months later, at the age of just 60 years, my mother died. And it's taken me 17 years to fulfill that promise with this first of 6 books which I have written. 32 years across the life I have lived, working as an international business person, then in the area of education, and now more recently across the last 21 years in the area of coaching, training, facilitating soft skills, specifically now in the area of emotional intelligence. I find that there is so much across life that we can learn from ourselves to begin with, and from other people like me who decide to write books. So I'd like to read you something from my very first book, which was published in May 2020. It's called The Butterfly Blueprint, Managing Transformative Change. An interesting topic for these times, don't you agree? And it's also written because of these times. So, let me read the prologue to you first. Metamorphosis is an incredibly fascinating journey of transitioning the ordinary caterpillar to a magnificent butterfly. It needs patience and care, just as our own life must go through metamorphosis from helplessness to strength, from being unskilled and inept to being skilled and agile. Yet, in our impatience, we often wake up the caterpillar in ourselves and others too, halfway through the metamorphosis, hoping that the butterfly within has already formed. Even before any of the magic has been displayed, we want this butterfly to grow its wings and fly. Consequently, imagine when we do this, metaphorically speaking, we would wake up a half-formed caterpillar and half-deformed butterfly with broken wings. But this is not really true at all. What we get is caterpillar soup. Because the unbelievable truth is the caterpillar has to dissolve itself completely in enzymes. So, in that sense of utter finality, the caterpillar is deemed dead. But not really. This caterpillar, high protein soup, has floating within imaginal discs or bags of cells, each disc identified for specific parts of the future butterfly. And think of this, these imaginal discs actually start forming even before the caterpillar itself is born. Much of our life is like this, isn't it? We have everything we need to grow into the beautiful butterflies we are meant to be. But we need to feed the caterpillar in us to grow it and then let it die. Our competitive world today rushes us with unnecessary hurry and haste, propelling us into a maddening race towards butterfly-enhanced competence. towards soaring excellence on the magical wings of the butterfly, like success, which we keep redefining with every breath we take. This brings us breathlessly close to the threshold of destroying the cocoon and the magical metamorphosis within it. The cocoon, after all, is that fragile a vehicle and an extraordinarily painstaking process which transforms the ugly caterpillar into the beautiful butterfly. And so, if we permit our imagination to fly beyond the actual biology of the process, this insistent early wake-up call ought to give birth to a whole race of malformed butterflies. And the tragedy is, with so many cocoons being busted early to fly into the world, these malformed butterflies soon become the expected butterfly. In the blind hurry to succeed in an eternally churning world, we are short-circuiting the process and pace of true transformation. Not only do we destroy the beauty and the magic of the process of metamorphosis, but we also tamper with the end result in a hurry to get the butterfly swiftly off the ground, no matter what. We then redefine this ugly, oozing creature that we have awakened from the cocoon as the new normal. And this new normal is what we embrace, because we would rather have this ugliness thrust in our face than suffer the emptiness of the wait until the real butterfly emerges. That's when the caterpillar must die to birth the butterfly. In recent times, we have seen our racing, speeding, heaving, churning, convulsing world put on pause. We now forsake everything else that we aspired to and have put it on the back burner. When we look around today, we see the amazing evidence of this world having forsaken those lofty dreams, which just yesterday were beckoning us impatiently. Yet, in our current reality, and perhaps for the future of this reality, it has become important for us to secure life itself, to pay renewed attention to everything that life was crying out for us to listen to observe, and to engage with. Every caterpillar must bide its time to be born a butterfly. The butterfly, too, must be released from the memories of the cocoon to fly gracefully in the fields of flowers. The lessons from the cocoon are now invisible part of butterfly beauty and grace. The caterpillar died because the butterfly was born. So what does this book have in store for you? In this book, we take a look at what it means to design, engage, and coach the butterfly blueprint. This book deals with this journey in 4 parts, beginning with the caterpillar, its metamorphosis, and finally the butterfly. We also look at the role of emotions accompanying the journey of the butterfly blueprint. To converge the blueprint to everyday actions and advice, we engage the blueprint in 5 focus areas in the butterfly blueprint's flight plans. So I do hope you enjoy the journey and fly to the sky. As you move across these parts of the caterpillar, its metamorphosis, the butterfly itself, and the finale, which is about making your own blueprint. So the butterfly blueprint itself is all about reframing life. And to reframe our lives is to recreate the context within which we operated, moving from panic and paralysis to power and productivity. So what is reframe? Very briefly, because it's explained in greater detail in the book. Reframe is R, review and reflect on what your thoughts are in the moment. E is engagement levels of our emotions and actions. F is focus on 5 important issues. R is draw up a rewiring plan. A is activate the plan. M is measure progress, mend the plan to work better. E is educate, enlarge, and energize your reframed life. Well, as we talk a little more about reframe and creating butterfly communities, the emotional journey of the butterfly blueprint must take wing, because it's these emotions that actually provide the wind beneath the wings of the butterfly, which is each one of us. In the finale, which is about making your own blueprint, we talk about designing the future. So, here is something to keep in mind as you journey forward to make your very own butterfly blueprint. The butterfly is another state of mind that allows us to break free from the chains we have put on ourselves, chains of past knowledge, experiences, practice, and expertise. These chains undoubtedly hold us safely on terra firma to account for everything that we have learned, put into practice, and made happen. So we do not seek to break free from these chains, but we look at them as our foundation stones, laid deep inside the soil of our lives. One does not rock the foundation, but one builds on it. Good old caterpillar logic, right? The butterfly emerging from the cocoon and flying free is not about rocking the foundation of the towers we have built or contributed to designing and building, but instead it's about building another one which can perhaps become a skyscraper or anything else we want it to be. This transformation through the metamorphosis transcends even that. It's more about creating a whole new blueprint of life on which we can now dare to design our dreams, putting aside everything that has happened so far without discounting all the effort and achievements and successes of the past. In many ways, it's more about multi-skilling rather than super-skilling. For some of us, it may serve to bring back old, forgotten, or even buried career choices to be an even more thrilling experience. Since this time around, it can be about the sky and not the earth, designed for vastly different canvases of life. Today in year 2020, we are confronted with very different changes in our ecosystem, in the world we now live in. The way that we are looking at life, especially these days, we really don't know what the world is going to be. A world we thought we knew so well despite its unpredictability. We are bound to try to reclaim our lives from the secure past and pressure it into the present. But we have to come to terms with a new reality, where everything that was considered sacred in the past is now something that needs to be looked at being, at best, renegotiated or reframed. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like what you have heard and feel encouraged to buy this book. This is a really precious book, and it's one that is really close to my heart because it is my first book. And in this book is the magical tale of our lives, of how we have to negotiate the darkness of the COVID pandemic, because that darkness is nothing but the cocoon, which needs to dissolve the caterpillars we were in its entirety to get a caterpillar soup in order that the butterfly can emerge from that. So, have patience, have hope, and believe in the butterfly that is about to fly within each one of us. Thank you. See you soon when we talk about my next book. Bye for now.